the greatest of all time, the greatest, the greatest of all time, the greatest. Oh, you ain't know the greatest of all.
Hello, wonderful people, and welcome back to Rolo Runs the City podcast. I am your host, Rolo, and I am so glad to see that you guys are back here hanging with me and about to go ahead and go over some things. So, I had put out a song called The Greatest of All Time, The GOAT. The reason why I wanted to put that song out was because there's many people who claim, even self-proclaim, to be the GOAT. I can self-proclaim and call myself the GOAT. But are you doing GOAT things? Okay? And I'll be honest with you. A lot of people, they fall out of routine and they fall back into their own mess. Unfortunately. You try to develop a good routine, good habits, but unfortunately, a lot of people are like, this is not who I am, so they don't end up sticking with their plan. But, and I find it to be very hard myself. I'm not a robot, obviously. I don't go off of code and command, so, it's something that I have to deal with myself daily. You know what I mean? So I love when people say that, they say, oh, motivation's BS, and, you got to get it when the getting's good right there and then. If not, the motivation goes away. It's like, well, so does showering. You know what I'm saying? I mean, showering goes away once you step out of that shower. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that we stop showering. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is continue to stay motivated, renew your motivation, even when it dissipates. You just have to do what you have to do to get that going. Stay inspired, remain inspired, and just keep moving forward. But what's going to keep you, in the game most of all is your discipline. I think it was season 3. I'm not sure. I think it may have been season 3 of the podcast where I talked about the greatest and the greatest of all time and the things that they do. Definitely feel free to check that out. Like I said, that's on season 3. But I'm gonna be as honest as I can be with you. Trying to achieve greatness is not an easy thing to do. If it were, everybody would be doing it, and unfortunately, that's not the case. 99% of the world is controlled by the 1%, and the 1%, what they have all in common is their routine and their self-discipline. There's a lot of people who work first shift, get up in the morning, and next thing you know, they look like they got hit over the head with a frying pan when they walk out the door because they're literally jumping right out of bed into the vehicle and then going. Not to mention they're probably not taking a shower. You hope they brush their teeth. You know what I'm saying? But, the whole purpose of trying to achieve your greatness is to do the things that other people are not doing. So there's times that I'm doing a lot of work by myself, whether it be working on my body, working out, working on my podcast, working on my music, looking through how I can invest my money, things of that nature. That's stuff that people don't see, and a lot of people, especially like on Instagram, which is like the most vain platform there is on social media, a lot of people are trying to act like they're really, doing some things and they're chronicling everything, and it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's good to post and market yourself, but when it looks like you live on it, then that's when it loses its luster. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is, to become great, to achieve the things that you want to achieve, you're going to have to do some things that you've never done, So that's my take on becoming the GOAT. I was inspired to write this song. It was obviously, if you listen to the drum pattern, the way I set up the drums and everything, it's absolutely a replica of Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim. Rakim is one of my favorite MCs of all time. He's still doing things at present day, and he was one of the groundbreakers in hip hop, and I guess you could say, I'm not saying that Nas is Michael Jordan, but you can definitely tell that Nas gets a lot of his a lot of his lyrical cadence and flow from Rakim, and I like to put that in comparison to Dr. J. Nobody said Dr. J was the greatest of all time. People say that Michael Jordan's the GOAT, but if you look at the way Michael Jordan plays, it's very reminiscent to the way Dr. J used to play when he was playing ball back in the day. So I know I'm kind of going a little old and beyond, but I'm just trying to make an analogy here. So if you see that, I hope you appreciate it. But anyway, I have a great affinity for greatness, so that's the reason why I'm always talking about it. Like, how can I level up? How can I reach that next level? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people where they don't have, they're really stayed on, they're on a fixed mindset and they can't break out of it, and there's a way of breaking out of it, but you have to, first of all, you have to acknowledge that you have a fixed mindset, and then you can start working on yourself. So a lot of people, you got to understand, if they don't think there's a problem, they'll never address it. So that's one thing I know. We're all in this world, we're not perfect, but as long as we're trying to do what we have to do in reference to becoming better, then why not? So when I went ahead and put this song together, I said, okay, let me put this down, that down. It's just saying a couple of things that, I think that could be relative to people's lives. Like, I talk about Mercedes drivers, Bender, Mercedes drivers. Golly, I'm trying to remember the specific rhyme, but I know I say Mercedes driver, spender, he's a pretender, and next thing you know, he's like a slave to the lender, because, whoever lends you money, you're actually belong to those people until you pay them off. It is what it is. They own your time, You got to think about every time we borrow money or some sort of an entity that needs to be paid off, we say, we got to go to work, got to get to work, man, because I got to pay this person off. They own your time, So again, that comes with having massive amounts of discipline. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Live your own life, create your own lifestyle, enjoy your life, stop trying to impress others, stay healthy, my friends, and just, like I always say, be the GOAT, never sheep, and don't sleep on your dreams. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you here too long, but this is Rolo Runs the City, and that, my friend, is my process of writing the greatest of all time song. It was inspired by Rakim's Paid in Full. I always have a great affinity for trying to get better, for trying to level up, for trying to unlock some new feature of my life to level up, so then that way I don't be, I don't remain stagnant. So anyway, take care, Godspeed. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.